Crime.
Let's get it together.
Education.
Let's get it together.
Marriage.
Let's get it together.
Politics.
Let's get it together. Full circle.
Poverty.
Let's get it together.
Race.
Let's get it together. Full circle. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Full Circle Podcast Show, episode number 6. I am Darryl E. McCullough, the same poet, along with A. Whitney Petty joining us over the phone lines back in Chicago.
Hey, A-Wit.
What's up? I'm feeling a certain way right now, not being in with my people. So just so you'll know.
Wow. Yep. Well, and also, and as always, back in the house, my play sister back from back healthy after the flu.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Yeah.
Carmen Miller.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We miss you.
Thank you.
Your
It's
girl
good to be
Latoya
back.
held it down, but definitely, you were missed.
Yeah, Latoya held it down.
She's a sweetie. She is a sweetie. Thank you, Latoya, for stepping up and stepping in. So, I think it's time we get ready to have another fun, exciting show from a perspective of a liberal, conservative, and independent state of mind. Before we begin, let's talk about some stuff that's going on in the world. One of the things that has really, really been kind of poignant here lately have been all these celebrity deaths. I mean, it's been like a whirlwind. Within the last couple of weeks, we've lost Lemmy from Motorhead. We've lost Natalie Cole, the amazing David Bowie. We've lost Glenn Frey, Alan Rickman, amazing actor, and Dan Haggerty, Grizzly Adams, people we've grown up with. I mean, and Glenn Frey, the Eagles, it's kind of tragic. They say these things happen in 3, but this has been like a really
Definitely
deep season. And I'm wondering,
right.
you know, what does that say to us about, the legacy that we leave behind? It's kind of, for me, the one that really hit home the most, and I love all of these artists, but the one that hit home the most for me was David Bowie.
Definitely.
Because he spoke to so many generations through his music.
Right.
And he was such a chameleon and such a part of the fabric of, pop culture and music. I call him the king of fashion. He was an amazing, influence on so much that we hear and see and do today. My sincerest condolences to his family, Iman, and his children. It's a terrible loss. And one thing I don't want people to do is don't ever forget the music. Don't ever forget the music. Glenn Frey, I mean, the Eagles were the sound
Hotel
of
California.
the 70s. They were the sound of the 70s. Don't ever forget that music. Don't ever let it go.
But you know what the thing to me is, we often forget that how important music is in our lives, and we don't really think about it. We don't really miss it until they're gone. Yeah, you can go over and you can listen to some old music, and that makes you happy, but you'll never hear anything new again. And so we need to keep in mind that cherish these artists, that we have and that we love. So
I was telling Carmen, my son was so upset. It's amazing, someone an artist that you have grown up with, like Michael Jackson, Prince, David Bowie, and
Right.
then your children, because these artists are still relevant and their music is so good, like Stevie Wonder or somebody, and if something happens to them, they feel the impact. I mean, my son almost didn't want to go to school. He
Yeah.
was so
Right.
upset.
And people are like, why get so caught up in celebrity and you don't know these people? But these songs speak to us in a really intimate kind of way. So that's
They
why
do.
I say, never forget that music and never forget the legacy, the movies and all of that stuff. It's part of the fabric of who we are. So, we thank them for their contribution and rest in peace.
And the other thing about it is, a lot of these songs that we listened to over the years, as you said, is part of our life. You could have been making babies, you could have been in a emotional relationship, anything, and if that song comes up, you start thinking about the certain situation that you had going on in your life. So that's important too. But my condolences to all of them: Natalie Cole, David Bowie, Dan Haggerty, all of them. So
Absolutely. Moving to the Oscars. Ha! It's that time again.
right, controversy.
Talk about it. Darryl, talk about it. Let's see what you think.
Well, we got some racial issues going on.
Mm-hmm.
First off, everybody knows about what's going on with the Oscars, with Spike Lee, Jada Pinkett starting basically like a boycott because there are no black nominations. The Oscar president
It's black.
And this is her second year. And my thing is, you ever have a job where you're the only black person?
Yeah.
You know you're the only black person.
Yeah.
Right.
No one has to tell you that you're the only black person.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of weeks you look around and you be like, hey, I'm only black. So she knows that she's the only black and the Oscars lack diversity. If my notes are correct, the average age of a member
Of the
which
Academy.
there is approximately 6,000
70
people.
or something. It's old.
Yeah, they're like 63, 93% white and 2% black.
Wow.
You know what? 2% isn't a lot. Trust me, when I moved to the little small country town that we live in,
Yeah.
and it said 2% black.
That was like you and your
2%,
family.
Yeah.
That was
2%.
That was like the members
Isn't
of
a
your
lot.
family.
That's all it was.
Wow.
It was his family.
Wow.
And the guy at the light with the squeegee.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, go on.
I can play devil's advocate here because I would say this: Rome was not built in a day, and this
I'm
woman has
with you,
only had a couple of years to make any significant changes. And when you do look at the membership of the Academy, it is basically the establishment, the producers, the studio heads, that kind of thing. Now, what needs to happen is on the production side or on the filmmaking side of things, we need to develop our own film companies that can compete with a Weinstein or MGM, that kind of thing. We're not in that we're not in that bracket to where we're making that kind of impact. So we can make amazing films, but if we're not represented in the membership of the Academy, it's not going to be the same. Do you know what I mean?
Go on, Pity.
This is how I look at it. I almost kind of compare it to Obama. He came in office and everybody was saying, oh, well, he hasn't done enough for black people. But the thing about it is he's the president of all people, and he's tried to do things to help us. So you have to give this lady a chance to kind of gradually put her stamp on this thing to get it right. I'm not saying it's right, but I agree with Carmen. You know, we need to be a part of the production side of it, and we also just have to give her a time to get it. If you tell me in 4 years we're still having problems, then I've got a problem with it. But, like she said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and so you have to give her a chance.
Okay, now I'm going to go over here and go right back to you, what your guys. Okay. Concerning the nominations, what I don't want is pity.
Right.
Because if there's a film that's worthy, it should be nominated. Now, to look at what's out there, Straight Outta Compton.
Right. I'll be honest.
I don't know about
No.
that.
I'm going to tell you what.
That was huge, though.
I was on the fence about it, and I thought it was a box office thing because of the nostalgia. I actually have seen that movie. It was well acted. It was well written. It was a microcosm of the culture. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
I agree. However, it reminds me of like the 3-6 Mafia winning the Grammy or whatever. You know what I mean?
They won an Oscar. They actually did. They won the Oscar. It was cringeworthy because of the content.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's hard out here for a pimp. Do I want my kids?
I get that, and I get that. The argument is
but hold on. Let's go back to this. Let's look at the movies that you had us in there with Buckeyes and looking crazy. People got nominated for those movies
I agree.
back in the 30s.
I agree. I don't want any slave-related, any stereotypes. Now.
Right. Well, that's what you had back then.
Okay.
And those movies got nominated, but I think Straight Outta Compton is significant.
They get nominated
Beasts
because
of
it's a backwards compliment.
No. Beasts of No Nation.
We can't debate on that.
Ooh.
I'm talking the backwards compliment of giving Halle Berry that award for that Monster Balls, whatever crap, and Denzel for Training Day.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, that's a backwards compliment. It's like you guys want to pick it, you want to start all this crap. Okay,
Where
we'll give you
were
an
we
award,
then?
but we're
Yeah.
going to slap you. It's a backwards compliment.
Because
Now,
I'll be honest with you, Philadelphia was a better performance. Glory for Denzel was a better performance.
absolutely, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X was a better performance.
But I'm telling you, Training Day, because I wasn't used to seeing him in that type of
Against
role.
type, okay, yeah. But
It was a monster role. I mean, you hear people
Understood.
saying things out
And
of
I-
that movie. Go ahead.
I would
Go ahead.
never take that accomplishment away from him. You know,
Right.
he was amazing.
Now, what else is out there? Chirac. I saw a little bit of that. Spike Lee is kind of going in a different direction. Spike Lee to me is almost like the uncle that gets his liquor and
He a drunk
he's
uncle?
he's in the basement. You love him, but he might act up. Okay. Spike Lee was my inspiration. Spike Lee and Woody Allen for me to get into film.
I see that. You know what I see when I see your films? I see She's Gotta Have It.
And I love She's Gotta Have It.
Right.
But he's going in a different direction. That Blood of Jesus that I saw,
Ooh, honey.
and Chirac is him going back to maybe the old Spike. Should he get a Oscar for it? No. There's a lot of mixed reviews on that movie. However, where we do agree, Beast of No Nation.
Oh, that was amazing.
I thought it was for Edris to play that role,
Wow.
which could have been a career
Ender. It was poignant. It was riveting. Watching that movie, I could not turn away. As ugly as it got,
There were two scenes that I could have done without, but it was filmed beautifully. The cinematography was awesome.
I couldn't turn away. Yeah.
Now, but you know what? I think he ruffled some feathers because they released that movie to Netflix. That is a no-no. And I'm sure that they do not want a trend, that to be the trend.
Well, this is part of the anti-establishmentarianism that's coming up in Hollywood nowadays. We're getting tired of the status quo. So if there are other avenues to do things, people are doing it independently. You know, this is not a movie that, people wanted to, back on big screens because the content was so controversial. And going the Netflix route and allowing it to build up, that credibility. Oh my God, that's a game changer.
But I think what's going to happen is slowly but surely, when a movie comes out, you're going to have the option to watch it right in your home. You're going to pay.
Yeah, at some point.
But
hey,
and they know that, and they don't want that.
No, because it eliminates an industry.
Absolutely. The internet is extremely beneficial, but it has also been career company ending type things that have happened because of the growth of the internet.
Yeah. Then we got your girl, Jada Pinkett Smith, huh?
Right.
Ooh. She's asking for a boycott. And over the movie Concussion, her husband, his performance, she thought it was, Oscar worthy in that. And, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, you. But a boycott? We didn't boycott last year when it was. Okay, never mind. But
Absolutely.
on the internet, have you guys seen this? Janet Hubbard, who was on the Fresh Prince years and years, the first Aunt Viv, she lit them up. I mean, she put on her reading glasses and read them children.
Now, you know who she's the light of the Academy? Who?
She wants to boycott the Oscar ceremony itself.
Okay,
so and Chris Rock is hosting, and I feel sorry for him because he's like caught in the middle of this thing, and they want to make it this big cultural deal, but I'm like, there's so many other things that we could really be focused on, and I just feel like let me ask our viewers and you guys on our comments on YouTube, please let us know what you think. Janice Hubbard, go check out her rant about the Smiths and boycotting the Oscars. And do you think she has a valid point, or do you think it's just sour grapes? It's a little bit of both, because she sound a little bit bitter, but it's all
But
good.
but she had, if I'm not mistaken, she had some issues with the show anyway. That's why they got rid of her. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That as
Oh, she addressed that too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was bitter about that.
Wow.
You know, it's sad. Now, when you're talking about, oh, black people, we need to do this and we need to get our own this and all that. You know how long we've been talking that? That's just like as soon as cars are flying. That's that same dream that we've had for a very long time. We control sports.
Mm-hmm.
We control the music industry.
Right.
Not so much.
We
are a
refuse
large
to
part
get together. A large part
of the music industry. We represent.
As Jay-Z would say, all we have is sports and entertainment until we're even. Okay, I do listen to Jay-Z.
Oh,
Now, we will not bond together. You mean to tell me with all this money that is being made by these rappers and musicians, and I always got to say Oprah, we put so much on her, it's not going to happen. Tielece Perry, even though I'm not I was watching Medea today, it makes me laugh, but he's starting a studio.
okay.
But they're saying that Jada and them have a studio as well, but
They
they
do.
only have their friends and family.
Overbrook Entertainment. Absolutely. It's actually it's a multimedia company. They do movies, they do music. They actually represent Robin Thicke.
Oh.
Yeah, they
that,
do.
That doesn't help.
Well, and their own, like they said, their own movies and music. It's Overbrook Entertainment. And it's funny because, that's the key, getting on the other side of that. So
this is what I would say to Darryl, and I don't agree with him on much, but I will agree with him on that one. We do a lot of talking about we need to get together, we need to help each other, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's from the crib on up, we're not taught that or whatever, or we're just selfish, or it's just what has been inbred in us. We need to get together, raise our kids, and let them know, hey, we need to work together as a group, as a race, to try to better ourselves. And I agree with him on that. And
that's the key.
This might be the only time. But you said something about Oprah, and I thought about Oprah. Oprah, to me, what one thing made me mad, and I'm gonna make this quick, is that she went to Africa and she went to build a school and she did all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that to me is like the U.S. spending trillions on a war instead of spending money within the country, within the educational system.
I will have to, I beg to differ, and I'm going to say that because I am an actual recipient of an Oprah Winfrey Scholarship.
Okay.
So
right.
I would say, yes, she has been philanthropic here at home. So that's the one thing, when you say people put a lot on Oprah Winfrey, she's only one person. When we look at, the establishment, or what we call the establishment of media, entertainment, music, whatever have you, when we become a part of the establishment, that's where the changes are made. They're not made in front of the microphone. They're made behind the scenes.
I agree. But the key is, the thing is, how do you get into the establishment? What do you do? I don't know if you can get into the main establishment. You have to establish your own establishment.
That's exactly correct. And that's the business model that we got to look at.
Right.
And there's so many more important things going on in the world, so we could talk about this. That's a whole nother show. Look, that's an addendum to the TV episode that we did.
Exactly.
So let's get on to some of the things that are going on in the news. Let's talk about Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, some things that are really affecting us.
Definitely. We got this, we got a sick out in Detroit. If I'm not mistaken, there were 88 schools closed because of this, because of the conditions in the school system that are deplorable. We spoke last week, the last show, if I'm not mistaken, concerning gentrification.
Gentrification,
Gentrification
right.
for Detroit. And what I've always learned about buying homes is location, location, location.
Absolutely.
And
One of the things that I've seen the pictures. They've had fungus, actual mushrooms growing out of the walls. They have broken windows. They've got ceilings caving in. So much damage to the properties of these schools that these kids are coming into basically condemned buildings. Okay? The conditions are horrible. They're making the class sizes ridiculous. These teachers are doing much more policing of the classrooms than they are teaching. I
Right.
mean, how in the world do you expect kids to learn effectively under conditions that basically look like a refugee nation?
Right.
I completely support the teachers
And
sick
and
out.
and, and this is I've got a friend of mine, Laura Lynn Welling Taylor, is a teacher. I just talked to her not too long ago, maybe an hour ago. She's a teacher at Cass. And you mentioned some of the stuff. That some of the issues are the class sizes. She says her class is 41, 42.
Wow.
When you go to elementary, she said they're like 38, 37. She said the other issues are what you.
Absolutely. And that's the kind of thing that
So she mentioned that. She also said what you talked about, the school conditions. And another thing is that they're complaining about, and I agree with, because they have a lot to do and a lot to work with kids, is that the pay cut is being dropped.
That's crazy.
The insurance is being raised. She said she's been in the district for 18 years, and she said her pay as of now is like it was when she was in her second year.
Shut
So
up.
imagine
Seriously.
dropping down to the second year pay when you've been in for 18 years.
Oh my God.
So they've got some issues that they are on point about to try to deal with. And then this injunction to try to get them back to work is madness, you know.
Well, here's my thing, okay? We privatized education with all of these charter schools, and basically what we've done is we've gentrified the educational system, because if you can't afford to move where the charter schools are, or to send your kids to a charter school because there's no public transportation, there's no there's no busing, there's nothing like that, the support systems to help them get there, you're relegated to these condemned and horrible public schools. The system is broken, and these kids suffer.
Right, absolutely.
But you know what's funny? She works at Cass Tech, and that's a fairly new school.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 years old, and they have the issues there at that school. But the bottom line, and you mentioned the charter schools, it's about money.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
Money. And these teachers, in my opinion, because I was a DPS student, these teachers should be paid
Yes.
accordingly.
They go above and beyond. They go above
Of
and beyond.
course.
My husband's a teacher. They go above and beyond. Many times, these are the only role models that some of these kids will have.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
These are the free meals and things like that. That's the only food sometimes these kids get to eat. Okay? You see so many of these kids falling through the cracks, and the teachers are the only ones that they can look to care. Okay?
Mother, grandmother, father, they're doing all these roles.
Absolutely. What I would suggest parents that care in the city of Detroit, stand with your teachers for the change that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Now, I think we got a caller on the line.
Yes.
Give me just 1 second. We're getting ready to move into the subject of the water issues that are going on in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Awit, you got something you want to talk about on the water, and then I want to introduce our caller.
All right, yeah. What I want to talk, we know it's an issue. We know what's going on, but I just want to kind of give a timeline of how this thing played out. And just bear with me. Okay, just bear with me because it's a little bit here, but I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can. November 29, 2011, Governor Snyder appointed Michael Brown as emergency manager, 2011. So, with that being said, then less than a year later, he appointed another guy who was actually the emergency manager in 2002, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
He appointed this guy's name was Ed Kurtz, so he appointed him. So he served, for a few months. Then he stepped down.
Hmm.
And he stepped down, and then they had to appoint another guy. So they went through like four. They went through like four emergency managers, and I can't get through all of them right now because we don't have the time to do it.
Wow.
But the issue is, the main thing is they went into the Flint River to try to take that water. They hired an engineering company to try to work on sterilizing the water. That didn't work out. They got a letter from Detroit saying, okay, this agreement will be up in a year. They took it as Detroit was saying, hey, we don't want you anymore, you're done, or whatever, but that wasn't the case. So there was a lot of miscommunication that was going on with this Flint water. Then they finally got the water from the Flint River, not Huron River, from the Flint River. They tried to, like I said, purify it and make it drinkable. That didn't work out, and that's where you had the issue with this water issue with the lead and everything. So they didn't do their due diligence to try to make sure that this water was right. And then, to make a long story short, they end up going back to the Detroit water system.
Really?
And so that's kind of in a short synopsis of what happened. There's more to it, but like I said, they had 4 emergency managers. A couple of them quit. One stayed on for a while. Miscommunication with Detroit.
Wow.
They tried to do it their way, and the problem, it always boils down to money. They thought it was more money working with Detroit water system, and in the end, it ended up being a disaster, a fiasco.
Right.
Wow.
Now let's get our caller in. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Tielece Perry, and I'm calling from Belleville, Michigan.
Great. Thanks for calling the show.
Belleville, Michigan. Wow.
Yeah.
What can you add to the conversation as far as the information that we need to know about what's happening in Flint?
Well, I'm really frustrated with the way this governor has behaved and his supporters, because at the end of the day, I was reading an article this morning that stated they actually had until 2016, according to their specialists, it stated when it would be safe to cut off the water.
Wow.
So they cut off the water a lot
You're right.
before.
You're right.
Yeah, they cut off the water a lot sooner than their own specialists had advised them to do. And another thing that they did was, once the people started getting sick, once their children started going to the doctor, and they found out these numbers before it really hit the media really bad, what they did was other friends of his, that dark money, they started silently trying to sneak up to Flint and give out water and filters quietly.
Wow.
So they knew exactly what was going on, and that's frustrating because that could never happen in a city that was a diverse city, more so than Flint, or a affluent city. It would never happen in West Bloomfield, Michigan, or Novi, Michigan.
That's
Never.
criminal. That is
Now,
that's
Tielece,
borderline
didn't
criminal.
weren't there some deaths because of this?
Yes, it started off with 6 when I really started following it, and now I hear it's up to 10.
That's what
I
I
have
heard.
friends that work at Children's Hospital, and they've been telling us that the children that they're sending from Flint, Michigan, are covered in sores.
Oh, Jesus.
I also was listening to 950 this morning, and they stated that even if they fixed the water and they gave the children pure water, the lead levels would still live dormant in their bones for decades.
Oh, my God.
Okay, now it's the governor, right, to blame?
I do believe he's to blame because at the end of the day, it's his team. And, it's like most people who work for a living, if you don't hold up what you're supposed to do, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, when your patient dies and you're the one who was performing the surgery, then you have to pay for that. And what frustrates me so much is because he comes from so much money that he has a lot of people who are willing to pay.
He's insulated. He's insulated.
Now, Tielece, he did say he's sorry, right? Is
No,
that enough?
No, I don't think it's enough because at some point, I don't do the same things at 30 that I did at 20, and I think that's fair that we all grown. when you make a mistake that causes people to lose their life, there's nothing
That's criminal.
in that
That's
position
criminal.
to me to ever be able to, for me to look at him with respect as a governor should be looked upon. And look how long it took him to actually respond and even say that sorry.
Let's also look at the fact that, like Awit was saying, we've had 4 emergency managers. Someone knew something ahead of time. I mean, nobody, this is not a revolving door position. Okay, you see what I'm
Right.
saying? So when you find that there are people who are leaving this job, that is a red flag.
It's the reason.
It's a
Right.
red flag. The other
It's a red
side,
flag.
You know what also adds insult to injury is when, I think his name is Mr. Early or Illy, when he left, when they actually took him from Flint, then they put him over Detroit Public Schools. So this
Right.
governor has showed his incompetence
Wow.
in hiring qualified people to take care of, I'm sorry, African-American children. I mean, these communities
Wow.
are highly populated with African-Americans, and I just, I have a wide, diverse friendship with all kind of cultures, and I just think that it was ignored because of who it affected mainly.
well, let me ask you this. Do you think that impeachment proceedings are in order?
I definitely do, and it's because of the fact that there was death.
Right.
I've seen in my life where politicians have done far less. Let's not forget this governor is the same governor who outsourced Michigan prisoners their food, if you guys remember, was filled with maggots.
Wow.
They swept that under the rug. So how much devastation can one man bring to a state without having to atone for it? Is it because they're prisoners? Is it because they're minorities that he shouldn't care they're still human beings?
Well, you know what? I think once it gets to a point where it's criminal, where people die, then he needs to be made accountable for his actions. And I mean criminal. Those are criminal actions. The impeachment.
And let's not forget, someone just broke into the water department. Really? Is this a Watergate in 2016?
Right.
I hear you. Well, I want to thank you for your contribution to the conversation. This has been truly enlightening. You guys, let us know where you can be reached for information.
Okay, definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys giving this very important subject some attention.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Tielece.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And you know what, guys? Real quick. I want to say one thing. Okay, the first emergency manager I said was Michael Brown. The second one was Ed Kurtz. Michael Brown came back, I believe, and then they hired. Let me see what this guy's name is real quick. He was the last one they hired was a black guy. And I'm trying to see what his name is. Just give me a minute if I can find it. Kurtz resigns. Okay, hold on. Hang with me.
We
for
with
one
you,
minute.
brother.
Darryl Early was the last one, which was black.
And
So
that's who she was mentioning. Okay.
Right. So that was the last one. I wanted to mention that. That was the last one, and that was the one that she said that he appointed to Detroit.
Right.
After this issue.
Debacle.
So this is a mess here.
Yeah. Well, let's move into.
Yeah, we got very serious subjects, and we'll look forward to seeing exactly how things are going to be handled to rectify this slow process of correcting this major problem. So we're going to move into our subject. And today's topic, which was chosen by our guest, Les Yancey and Donte Doss of the Morris and Jerome podcast.
Hey.
They'll be joining us a little later. They're going to be joining us later because we're going to talk about the subject amongst ourselves for a little bit.
Okay.
And we also have a caller. But the topic that Les and Donte chose is social media hurting marriages and relationships of today?
Oh, Lord. What do you think?
You know what? We got a caller, right? I'm going to let the caller speak first, and then we'll give our concerns with it. Caller, you there?
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name and where
Hi.
you calling from?
My name is Brandi. I'm calling from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Hey,
Hi,
Brandi, how are
Brandi.
you?
Hello, Brandi.
I'm good. How are you? How are you? Thank you.
Okay, as the subject we said, is social media hurting marriages and relationships of today? I have a few questions for you, but what do you think?
I think it can. I wouldn't say that it is, but it can.
Are you married?
Divorce.
How long were you married?
9 years.
9 years, okay.
Yes.
You made it over the 7-year itch. Okay.
Forced our way over it. I think that was probably the whole purpose of the last 2 years. So yeah.
Wow.
Wow, got it.
Okay.
That's good.
Do you think that the internet is the devil?
Absolutely not. It's so I'm a devil worshiper.
No,
I'm always
Lord.
on Twitter. But no, I do not think it's the devil. I'm not a devil worshiper.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, how about this? Has the internet got you into a situation that got out of hand?
Absolutely, a couple times.
Talk about it.
He's honest.
I was, like, they're going to want me to elaborate on that. Okay.
Little bit.
I'm not going to go into details.
That's perfect.
But I'll say that because, especially with the subject, which is internet tearing up marriages or social media or whatever, when things were bad, I did meet people on social media that I was able to rant to, I guess, to vent to. And that did cause a problem because I could be way more frank and open with these people that I didn't know. Because it's kind of like, if you don't know a person, then they pass judgment or they have things to say. You really don't care because you don't know them.
It's a level
So
of
you'd be a lot more open. And
Yeah.
so I walked away feeling better, but it didn't help the situation.
there's a level of anonymity that lends itself to the freedom to speak on things that you wouldn't necessarily normally tell people that you know.
Absolutely, yes.
You know, the thing about the internet is, and I'm going to get into a story once we get you off the phone, Brandi, is that you become friends, you become web friends with people, and you start talking to them every day. All you got is a profile picture and the other
You can
little
make
stuff
up
that they
your
send you in the nudie
fantasy.
pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But when you finally meet that person face to face, and if they don't have if they're not half robot, it's very easy to just, hey, we already know each other.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have in a marriage, I don't care what anybody says, it's a job. It takes work.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you leave yourself. Well, it's like you got a bad day, and you go right to that internet, and there's that person to say, "Hey, you having a bad day?"
Yeah.
And they're just a friend. They're just a friend, and you think of them as just a friend, and things can get out of hand. Now,
But you know what the thing about that, Darryl, is you don't know what their motive is on the other end.
Right.
You may know what yours is, but you don't know what their motive is.
Yeah, but there's ways to find that out. You just have to ask the right questions. You'll find that out. I know because I've done it more than once.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're right, Brandi. What I'm saying, when you initially go into it, you don't know what their motive is, but you find out very quickly, as you said.
All right, now I'll go into a story briefly on this. Okay, Carmen.
The other side is a level of maturity. And as far as
Yeah.
what it is, the kind of
I
distances that you're willing to keep. Because sometimes, as far as being a married person, you have to set boundaries. You set boundaries in your personal life, in your day to day. There are web boundaries you need to set with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but so I'll tell a little situation. I'll spill the beans.
Okay.
Darryl, I need all the beans. Don't have.
See there, don't have to.
Listen, I'm trying to
Look,
stay
I'm getting
married.
my Kermit on. I'm about to sip
I'm
my
trying to stay
tea.
married. You know, I'm gonna go here, Brandi, and if you can bear with us for
I'm fine.
Great. A friend of mine told me, very close friend. We talked today, and he said, "You know what? I got a lot of cool friends. We've been friends since we were kids. You're the only one who's married." And I'm like, wow, because it's true. Marriages, people just aren't sticking together. It's like, hey, I'm out. And what happens, it was frustrating, and it made me think of I do blame the internet for a lot of things. Now, my situation happened like this. Carmen, you know as well as I do, in our industry, you being a singer, me being a filmmaker, you meet with, you talk with people over the phone,
Yeah.
over the web, etc. You may have some face-to-face things like that.
Yeah.
I had a website. I had a blog. Went out to
It's
15.
called self-control, Darryl.
Well. You're saying this, and I haven't even told the story yet.
I'm just telling you,
Okay.
because I know where it's going, man.
Now,
It's called self-control.
It's like this.
I'm gonna need some OT for this.
I had a column. It was called One Man's Point of View. Went out to over 1,500 people, and I had people. They would always comment on what I wrote, and you become web friends with these people. Long story short, the girl's from Ohio. I'm like, what? I'm from Ohio. Oh man,
Here we go. Here we go.
Then she's like, oh, when you come into Cleveland, oh, I live here. I live in Solon. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Harmless. My wife always tells me, you put yourself in difficult situations to get out of. But I'm like, hey, I can handle myself. I meet the girl at a restaurant. She's a beautiful girl. Looks have nothing to do with it, but she drives a BMW. It was a 3 Series, but it still was a BMW. And
You hear this?
the bill comes and she pays for it. And I'm like, whoa, we are connecting. She's so nice.
See what I'm saying? He was in love.
No. Well, and then the next day she's
Okay.
like, well, when you going home? I was like, oh, I'm going to go home Sunday. She's like, well, if you ain't doing it on Saturday, come on over to my apartment. We're just friends. We're just talking. I was like, she's so nice. She's so sweet.
That's awesome. However, as a married man, there's certain things that are understood.
I can't have female friends being married.
Can I be real with you? When you look
No.
I have
I
to
don't
be
want you
real
to
with
be real.
you don't want to be Okay. No, but for
I wanted to hear that. Wow.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up.
I'll finish.
No,
Okay. And so I get to her place. She's got food ready. The alcohol is flowing. And you know what? Stuff got to be a little uncomfortable. I saw her agenda and it kind of hurt me. And I literally ran out of there.
Okay.
And I'm going
My
to
T.O.
Good
grabbed
job.
your coat and
Good
run.
job.
I'm gonna talk about that in my apology near the end of the show. But her footprint was in my back.
Can I be real with you? As I was going to elaborate on the instant that it became as intimate as going to her home
Thank you.
for a one-on-one, that was the agenda showing itself. Okay. And when you do that, especially being a public person, that's a situation you put yourself into. That's not the internet's fault.
Right.
And
The
on
internet
the other,
started it. If
the
it wasn't
other
for the
side,
internet,
no. On the other side of that, I'm gonna tell you this: there are a lot more people looking on the hunt, you
Yes.
know, online than there are people, you know.
Not women. No, guys. Yeah,
Can
not
I tell?
women.
Oh no, women.
No, women are
let me
safe.
let me tell you a secret.
No.
Just watch. Go on Facebook, and I've done this. Go on Facebook. Have your wife post something and you post the exact same thing. Look at the likes. And it's not because she's a public person or not. I'm a public person, but I guarantee you, if my husband posts something and I post the same thing, he's getting more likes, and those likes are females. Okay.
What are you getting so angry at me
No,
for?
no, no. And I'm
should
just
see this look.
I'm just saying, because there is an agenda, you know,
It
but at the
is.
same time,
It is.
we as married people are to set those boundaries that don't allow that agenda to go anywhere.
Now,
I
now-
can say that there are more thirsty women on the internet than there are thirsty men.
You better
because
preach that thing.
At least the men will at least back away.
now,
And if you tell them
Right.
to go away, they will go away. Women won't. Women come back as other people. I've seen it a million times.
But you
But
know what
men
the
do
thing
too, because I know a guy with 3 profiles, and I know that all 3 of them is him. So, but women do that a lot. I mean, women don't go away. Men will go away because their pride will get hurt. Probably call you a few names in the inbox and that's it. But
Right.
women they're persistent. They'll keep on.
Brandi, let me ask you this. Do you think that when you're in a relationship that a couple should have each other's passwords?
Absolutely not. I would not give my password to my husband. I didn't give it to my husband.
That's my
not
girl.
because I
That's
was
my
posting
girl.
things online that I didn't want him to see, because one thing, it was always open anyway. And I wouldn't give him the password to my phones. But here's the thing. Once I realized that he was snooping through my stuff, I would change the password. But my thing is this. It's mine.
I get that.
That's my
I
girl.
get it.
Brandy, that's my girl
Can
right
I be
there.
real with you? I got my husband's passwords. He has mine.
No.
No, but not because it's
no.
because we're partners in business.
You know what?
We're
You're
business-
that type of person who's going to
we're-
have a profile picture on Facebook, and then you got the husband and wife sitting up there. together.
Yeah. But we're business partners. No, on his profile, his stuff is his stuff. My stuff is my stuff. We just, if I need him to do, some posting about my events and things like that, we're business partners.
So he's seeing all the little winky eyes that I've been sending you and the little smiley faces.
Hey, can I
Go on, A-Wit.
Can I say? I just want to say one thing as a single guy that's never been married. Me personally, I don't think that you should be on the internet or on Facebook married. Period.
Wait, what?
Oh, man.
Well, that's bull
You're
crap right
saying
there.
too
Hold on, let me
much.
go. Hold on. Let me go back. Not the internet. Let me go back. Not the internet. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Facebook. I don't
No,
think because
I disagree.
you're asking for trouble.
How would
I just think.
How would I promote my music stuff?
Well, for you, it's okay. I'm saying for your music, it's fine. But I'm just saying, as a social avenue to go on there and look and do whatever.
Oh,
and see who
I
was
can't-
But you don't need, people was doing that before there was a Facebook.
Right.
We
You
can
have to
get
have a
social
life.
media
I can't be
way
political.
too
I
much
can't
credit.
be. Yeah, I can't express myself.
But we're not. Hold on. We're not talking about what they were doing before. I understand that, and I agree with you on that. All this was going on before Facebook, but I'm saying we're talking about Facebook and we're talking about those issues. And I made a mistake when I said the internet, but I'm saying if I was married, I wouldn't want to see my wife on the internet doing whatever. I just wouldn't want to see it.
She has to have a, this is why marriages fail. You have to realize that this person has a life.
Right.
They had a life before you, and they're going to have a life after you. Now, I don't believe that you should be Facebook friends if you're in a relationship.
What?
Because I think it's a road. It can be a road to disaster because
You're backwards, man. What are you talking about?
look at what you just said. You said don't even talk to each other on the internet. I'm saying
I
when
made
my
a
wife
mistake
gets a
with
life,
the
I'm gonna be like, well, who's
internet.
this
I made a
Brian?
mistake
Oh
with the
my
Who's this
God.
Brian dude
And
always
see,
liking your post?
That's the problem, and to me,
But why?
that's the thing. That's the thing of insecurity. Because my thing is because Facebook is a text-based application, which is what I don't like about texting in the first place. But even though I do it all the time, is that when you read something, it don't matter what it says. The other person, it's going whatever they want it to mean. That's what it's gonna mean. So maybe to some degree,
Yeah,
people
because
shouldn't in relationships be. But then again, what I learned from my last relationship is if I should ever suffer from serious head trauma and get into another relationship, is that he's gonna have to, he will have to be as strong as me
Right.
because I'm a very sociable person, and that would have to be something that he can deal with. If not, then we ain't gonna make it.
we get to
And
talk.
that's the thing.
I
Some
agree
people
with
are
you.
just that sociable.
We get to talk about politics.
I'll go
We get to
halfway
talk
on
about. We get to talk about politics. We get to talk about religion. We get to talk about. We get to interact. We get to be inspiring. Or if you're having a bad day, you get to be depressed online or whatever.
Yeah,
you get
Right.
to.
and
It's an out.
I'm all
It's,
for that.
it's just a simple outlet. I think it's
Right.
what you make it. In terms of what you're looking for and what your motives are as well. If you're looking for validation, a person who's not feeling validated in a relationship, it could happen on Facebook or it could happen at the grocery store. Do you understand?
Right, I agree.
So
Wow.
I don't think that the internet itself is evil or whatever.
Well, you know what? Look,
I tell you, hey, wait, let me just interrupt you just for a sec because we want to clear the phone lines.
Thank you so much, Brandi. Your input
Yes,
has been
thank you. This
awesome.
is very interesting.
Hey, Brandi, I just want you to know that head trauma thing, that was hilarious.
Hey, Whit.
Hey, I say that every day. I say that every day.
That is hilarious.
Hey, Whit, do not. I'm telling you right now while she's on the line. Hey, Whit, I'm going to call you Dre right now. Dre, do not friend her, okay? Do not friend her on Facebook, okay?
I'm
if
sure
you
she's
friend
lovely.
If you friend me on Facebook, my Facebook is live. I'm telling you.
All
I
right,
say it
girl,
the way
all
it come
right.
off on my head.
Hey, when you see A. Whitney Petty, just accept
Hold
it.
on.
Don't worry about what Darryl's saying.
You know what? I think A Wit don't want his girl on Facebook because he know what he do.
Right.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Hey, before you get off, this is what I will say. I'm going to retract some of that stuff. What I would say is this. This is what I would say. I just don't want to be friends with my wife on Facebook. I'll leave it at that.
I've deleted my wife a couple times. Look, Brandi,
Y'all so
thank you
wrong.
for the call,
Y'all so
okay,
wrong.
sweetheart?
Thank you.
You are great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, bye-bye.
Y'all so wrong.
I'm serious. I mean, I always say,
Hey, Darryl.
yeah.
Hey, Darryl, what's her last name?
Oh, dude, listen.
See, here we go. You about to do it, ain't you?
We're trying to do a show right now, and he's going to be going through my friends looking. Okay, Brandi.
I'm doing it right now, man.
Oh.
That's what we do.
So we've got who else do we have on the lines tonight?
Well, we got another person that should be calling in very soon, and they are a relationship expert.
Ooh.
I thought I was an expert. I'm really looking forward to hearing what this gentleman has to say.
I'm not an expert.
Oh, I'm an expert. Your boy got a track record.
You got it. Okay, then.
Don't let him fool you. He calls me all the time asking me for advice. So
Wow.
Well, you know I got great stories. As my cousin says, I have great stories, but with the worst endings.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody else on the line currently that we can move to then?
Caller, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
What's your name and where you calling from?
This Reverend Andre James Carter, calling from New York.
All right.
hey.
All right.
New York.
Thank you for the
What part
call.
of New York?
Today's subject is social media hurting marriages and relationships of today. What's your thought on that?
I feel that it's hurting the marriages that are not really solid marriages.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, me and my wife, we've been married for 15 years, right?
Okay,
And
congrats.
I'm on Facebook every day because I'm marketing my book and everything like that.
What's your book?
And the manual, it's a relationship book for men.
Wow.
You can find it on Amazon.
Cool.
Okay. But I'm on there every day, and I get the porn flicks in the inbox, and I get the
Wow.
the request, the friend requests of girls half naked and everything like that. I show it to my wife, and we laugh about it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's all about having trust, and you can find the devil in anything. The devil, the internet is just like what used to be the library. Some people went there to study for school.
Mm-hmm.
Some people went there to study the scripture. Some people went there just because a pretty girl was there, and they following the girl up
Hey.
there.
Good point.
So
Has,
Wow.
everybody that gets on the internet is not looking for the same exact thing,
what,
but it's there.
what about the password question? Do you share your password with your wife?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh,
Most
no,
definitely.
I'm
no.
right there with you.
No, I think there should be a national change your password day.
No.
You gotta have. Why don't you? Okay. Why? So you don't? Shouldn't you be allowed to have privacy?
I guess you can, but I believe more in trust than anything else. See, when you try to keep that type of stuff private, then you leave her to think, oh, why is it private? Why can't he tell me? Then all type of thoughts come into her mind,
Right.
and that's when problems start. If you don't got nothing
But
to
I
hide,
guess-
there's no reason for her not to have the password.
Basically.
Yeah, I guess if, like you said, if you're not trying to hide anything, you're honest, then it shouldn't be an issue. You
I
know
may
what
be
I'm saying?
having a text battle with my mom. That doesn't mean I necessarily want to share that with my wife.
And here's the thing, your wife doesn't want to see everything, but knowing that she could if she chose to,
Yes,
it's a
right.
freedom in that. It's a trust in that.
You know, my wife watches every
Exactly.
show. She watches every show that we've done. The
Well,
Full
you're
Circle
gonna be in
Podcast.
trouble this show.
Hey, I'm not. She cannot watch this one.
I love
what
you.
I'm
Yes,
saying.
you can. You watch this show.
Now, another question for you, Andre.
Sure.
What? I'm not asking you to spill the beans, but has anything from the internet with you ever gotten out of hand?
I don't let things get out of hand.
All right.
I really don't. I don't let things get out of hand. Like I said, women approach me all the time, try to friend request me half-naked pictures, inbox me half-naked pictures. I get that all the time. I delete them and block them.
Right.
Because I don't want my wife picking up my phone when they're trying to answer the phone and accidentally scroll through the pictures, or even my daughter. My daughter's 14.
Mm-hmm.
She goes through my phone all the time.
Okay.
I don't need her seeing no half-naked pictures.
Brother, I respect that. But you're also a businessman, right? And you're trying to sell a book.
Definitely.
And you're trying to sell a book, right?
Most definitely.
So, and I'm trying to sell a book as well. Sometimes I let things slip through the cracks just for promotion because you have a fan. Is that wrong?
Yes, that's wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because there, like I said, like I was talking about before, the boundaries. There is a personal space that you are allowed as a public figure. That is the space where fans do not belong. In that space, included in that space, is your marriage. Do you understand?
You don't think that you have a guy that comes to every show that you do?
I have several that come to every show that I do. And guess who else is at every show that I do? That husband.
There you go.
I don't know what to say.
There you go.
I don't know what to say. Let me see if I got another question for you. Andre, what do you think it takes to make a marriage successful?
What do I think it takes to make a marriage successful? I believe that there's so many different various things, such as trust and communication, for one thing. I think communication is top of the line.
Yeah.
Because without communication, everything could fall apart. You understand?
Right.
So,
Communication
is key. You could tell her what you like. She tells you what she likes, what bothers her, so that you know exactly what not to do or what to do.
Yeah.
And you said communication. I agree with that. One other thing with communication is you can't get into a situation, and I'm saying this with the marriage and just with the girlfriend. If it's any problems, you got to nip that in the bud early, because if it festers, then you've got problems. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I always tell people that.
Yeah,
I always tell people that. It's like a hole in your pocket. The hole don't get no smaller just because you ignored it. It's only gonna get bigger.
Exactly. And you know what the thing about it is, Andre? In my experience, you've got to nip that in within an hour. Get it out the way.
Yep.
Get that stuff out, because if it goes overnight, you got problems.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andre, we got to get one more call in. We got our guest calling for the show. I really appreciate you calling in. What's your book again?
The Manual.
The Manual.
MAN-UAL.
Okay.
Great. My best wishes to you and your wife, and thank you for the call.
No problem. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Good night. Thank you so
Andre.
much.
Thank you for your insight. We appreciate it.
We do. We certainly do.
As we should be getting a call from our guest soon, hopefully. We've been running just a little bit behind because this is such a meaty subject. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. But on this relationships, I don't know. I guess I'm 20 years in. You're 20 years in.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's been married that long, they got stories.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And I think that the internet can be an outlet, and it can be a very, it can get you into trouble. And you're not even looking for trouble.
I know.
But you know what? But you know what, Darryl, in saying that, just on the outside looking in as a single guy, when you go and your mindset is to go to the internet and to do things that you shouldn't do as a married person, you're looking for problems, and it may possibly be problems in the marriage. You follow what I'm saying? I believe what Carmen is saying is true. If your marriage is tight and solid, it shouldn't matter if your husband or your wife has your passport, has your password.
Right.
I believe what Carmen is saying is true.
And see, so many times, and I'm a little passionate about this because, you know, my marriage comes first in terms of what it is that I believe in. The thing about it is, you know, you can get yourself in trouble. If you're looking for trouble, you can get yourself in trouble anywhere.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, you know, people put so much, it's almost as if they're looking for an excuse to say
Yep.
that, you know, well, I was approached in this particular kind of realm with this particular kind of way. And that's why. No, the why is because you choose to make bad decisions based on that, you know?
Exactly. And you know what the thing about, you have to look deep down inside yourself, inside your marriage, to understand why you chose to do what you did.
Yep.
If it's out of line in terms of being married and being on the internet and doing something that you shouldn't be doing, whatever, you got to look deep down inside yourself.
That's real.
Wow. I don't know. I guess I'm learning. This is what this show is all about. You know, if we can't tell the truth, we're not going to learn anymore. We're just going to keep repeating the same cycles, and you know. But our guest, I believe they're on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, we heard.
Hey, how are you?
All right. We
Welcome.
got on the line Les Yancey and Donte Dawes from the Morris and Jerome podcast.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? What's up,
How you
man?
doing?
Three-way calling used to be easier back in the day.
Oh, hey, no problem. Seriously,
You good?
I appreciate you brothers holding on and for us and everything. We always try to be extremely organized, but you know, having a podcast, you know, time can get away from you. So
Technology
I thank you
is
very
a
much.
mug.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Now, gentlemen, tell me about your podcast first off.
Man, I guess I can go on to start. Just pretty much is, you know, man, I got to just thinking offhand. It's just a show. You know, we two, you know, 33-year-old brothers that have been divorced. So I guess we kind of, and I noticed a lot of the podcasts, especially the relationship podcasts, nobody was kind of, you know, giving them that real. Like everybody was kind of beating around the bush, and or it was like disorganized, or a lot of kind of childish, layered, you know, relationship advice. And it was like, all right, you know, let's talk about the real stuff that, you know, both of us have, you know, kind of been through, and kind of that, and we kind of added that, you know, and talk about sex, and then just kind of real life stuff as far as, you know, kind of getting out here and putting a lot of brothers on game. So that's kind of what the show is about.
Now, this is Les talking, right?
Yeah.
Got it. If you could just say your name, just so we'll know, because for the YouTube video.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, as you mentioned, you were divorced, both of you. How long, Les? How long were you married?
I was legally married. Man, I got to do the math. Like
Legally.
11 years.
Hold up.
What's
Yeah.
his,
You know niggas don't divorce.
his marriage came with a caveat.
Yeah, I always got to put that there. Like legally, 11 years, and then actually we were together only maybe like 4, with maybe one brief reconciliation in there. But yeah.
Wow. Donte, how about you? How long were you married?
I was married 6 years. We were together for 2, and then we're married for 6 years.
Now, the thing that I noticed about these gentlemen, their podcast, there's humor there, but there is that element of seriousness and wanting to help people by their experiences. But I got to go back to the show. The show is their names Les and Donte. But why is the show called Morris and Jerome?
Basically because I'm light skinned and Donte is brown skinned, and you know, just the whole dynamic with Morris Day and Jerome, you know.
Wow.
So it's like it just came from the idea.
That's your hetero life mate.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it came from the idea of, you know, me and another dude, we was like joking. And it was like, look at, you know, light-skinned and dark-skinned brothers, you know, getting together along with Morris and Jerome, and that kind of always stuck with me. So, you know, that's just kind of how we, you know, worked it, and just that's kind of how, you know, it is. And I've always kind of being a whole, Prince more than the time kind of fan, I was always hoping that, they would have turned, the Times music from Purple Rain on like maybe a B-side, but, Prince is selfish, so.
See there,
so
no, I ain't even gonna let you say that.
Now I gotta hook them up with the guy from the Prince podcast, Michael Dean.
Michael Dean. That's what. Listen, fellas, you know what? Since y'all doing the whole, thing from a male point of view, I'm gonna let y'all have this because our sister got to move on. My baby is playing basketball tonight, so I'm gonna excuse myself and say peace to the podcast. I love you. You have a great conversation, and I'm out.
All right, have a good one.
All right, have a great one.
Okay.
right.
I'll talk to you later on tonight. Okay, guys. As
Take care,
Carmen
Carmen.
heads out, a little more questions for Les and Donte. Sorry.
All good.
Do you think that the internet is the devil?
I'll let you handle that one first, Donte.
Well, I've said that the internet is the best, worst invention ever created. It has, like anything, I believe, it has its good points, it has its bad points, or its pros and its cons. I think that, to be quite honest, this day and age, there's a constant battle, between the people who use it for good and the ones who are using it for the bad, the negative. But I think that one thing that I hate is that the internet, unfortunately, gives people, to be honest, to be candid, gives them the balls to say things that they a lot of times normally would not say, in person or face to face.
And that makes it that's a good point. Yeah.
That's one of my qualms about it is that, you always get people on there who are always saying stuff. I mean, honestly, with even with my Twitter page, I have had people who have used that anonymity to try to harass me. And honestly, I've been on the internet, so to speak, since Black Planet days. So
Oh man, Black Planet.
a lot of stuff.
They didn't accept me on that. They didn't accept me on Black Planet.
Is that right?
They yeah. I don't know why, but go on.
Man, I was in college, man. I was in the college chat, so that's where I hung out on Black Planet. So I saw a lot of the the people using the anonymity to do things and harass people and talk trash people. So people still do the same thing, unfortunately, on Twitter, and it's amazing to me because I'm thinking to myself, man, we're supposed to be adults now. We're not teenagers. We're not
Right.
reckless or easygoing college students. We're adults. We're just on here who can have conversation and talk, dialogue, whatever, joke. But you get people in there who don't, who aren't about that, who like to keep up mess, who like to keep up drama, especially guys who do this term that I just learned really honestly last year called dirty macking. I'm a flirtatious guy, and I flirt with girls on there and, talk and converse with them. And there are guys who will message girls and try to talk crap about me. That Donte, just tell a lie so that they can get in good. It's amazing. I mean, I'm absolutely amazed. And even when I think I've seen everything on the internet, I still have not seen everything because there's always something else every day or every other day that happens that amazes me even further. So it's wild stuff.
What amazes me is I know what we go through as men. It makes me think, what are the women going through?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on all that. Yeah, same thing what Donte was saying. Like, it's the best thing, worst thing out there. It's the best thing. I especially like Twitter for the networking aspect. Like, you can throw out a question and a legit like I need this service, and somebody's gonna get back to you. Especially if you've got I've got I'm not saying I got all the followers in the world, but I got a decent size, about 5,000. So I can just, somebody's going to get it. And, this podcast, our podcast was built because of Twitter. I was just, saying, my experience. I had a friend. She was like, oh, I know somebody that, same thing, same very similar story. And, that's how I ended up linking for Donte. And, it's that whole, and then also, the negative side. And I mean, man, my bad. I've been using big words all day. Just kind of, you can hide behind anything through through the internet, of course, same thing, just going back to the Yahoo chat days and leaving up the Black Planet and then, everything up leading that and how people, I always say, folks get steroids when it, before they log in, especially to Twitter. And it's all like, I got, when it comes to that stuff, I've got a basic rule that kind of keeps myself in line too. Like, I'll entertain an argument, but as soon as you start to get mad, start to call me out of my name and stuff like that, then I gotta block you, because therefore you're taking this argument somewhere else. And it's all like, once again, like I always say, folks ain't trying to catch a fade over some tweets. So,
Understood.
it's just like, if you're not, and the other thing is like, if you're not going to say it to my face in real life, don't say it on the internet. And I do the same thing to other people. I really am, like, I think before I've had to learn how to think before I tweet, but yeah. So
Now,
definitely, that's
got
what I think about that.
a few questions for you, gentlemen. Can men and women be just friends? And also, has the internet ever got you into a situation that got out of hand? As far as, just as far as, just got out of hand.
Man, I'll say men and women, I think they can be just friends. That's always a touchy one. Like, it's one of the things where I know a lot of my female friends. It's the friendship sprouted after we have maybe either dated or we maybe have had a sexual relationship or something like that, and it just didn't work out. Like, we just two different people and it didn't work out, but we still kept that friendship piece of that. And I have respectful female friends that don't cross the line. They know I'm in a relationship, so it's all like, they know not to hit me up and like, send me a nude or anything, or like, hey, how your girl doing and shit like that.
I can probably, out of all the girls that I've dated, seriously, I can probably call I can probably call 90% of them to this day. And I've been married for 20 years because we're friends. You know what I'm saying? If I feel that it would get out of hand, then, we would limit that friendship.
You know what? I don't. For me, I don't know. I think I can call them. I don't know. It might be all right. You guys are better than me, but I guess it just depends on if you're friends first.
Yeah, but you got a bad breakup method. I know how you break up. You got a bad.
Hey man, it works.
Beat it isn't good. Okay, telling a woman beat it, that's never going to be good.
And I'll say, yeah. No, I was about to say that. And the thing is, and I understand why folks be asking this question. It's not a problem, of course, when you're not in a relationship. But when you're in a relationship, like I try to tell folks, like, keep everything above board. Like, you've got to be honest with your mate and significant other, whoever you're dealing with, and just like, hey, this is my friend. Yeah, we fucked. We cool, and
right.
Nothing's coming of it. So as long as you keep that above board, then you're good. But as soon as you try to stick your shit, then yeah, I can see.
Okay. Well, how about this?
Problem.
Your girlfriend comes to you and says, "Yeah, I mess with this guy. We have relations and this and this and that, but we're just friends." Okay, now you guys get married. Can that friend from her past come to the wedding?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've got that same, like, once, man. I'm 33 motherfucking years old. I've seen everything, damn near done everything under the sun. I've done a lot more living than, maybe the average 33-year-old has done. And it's like, it just, as a man, like, if I'm once again, I'm comfortable in my relationship, so I don't need to trip. And, my girl, she has, a friend here and there that, she used to mess with. It's like, how can I expect, her to do something and I'm not willing to do myself? As long as she, is, she tells me, hey, this dude, such and such, we had, this dealings, but we just friends now. And I'm like, all right, cool, because, women, hey, or adults, period, they going to do what they want to do regardless, whether you're a friend or not. So it's kind of like, hey, you trying to tell her not to, do something or have friends, it's just, that's very, you want to call yourself a man. I think you can't. That's very immature if you're trying to. That's all goes back to like control, and you can't control people, especially in a relationship.
Yeah, but the thing I would say about that is this: is that as long as those people, whoever they are, and it goes for women that one may have been with, or a guy that your girlfriend has been, as long as they're respectful, then I'm okay with that too, because you can't control it. You follow what I'm saying? Right. They've been friends for a while, right, but you have to be respectful, because I've been, not me personally, but I've seen situations where guys have been disrespectful, to a guy that's with the girl that they were with at one point, and that's a problem for me.
But you know what? But you know what? That's on your girl to handle. Like if she hasn't made that abundantly, like women, they'll let you know that hey, I'm not I'm not dealing with this stuff like that.
Hello?
Hello?
Wow. I think we lost the caller. I'm going to let me get him back.
Can you get him back, Darryl?
You know what I'll do? I'll get him back. But in the meantime, I want to while we're waiting, I want to thank a lot of people who have been instrumental in helping with the success of the Full Circle podcast show.
For sure.
And, the only way we get our audience one person at a time. And we really appreciate there's so many people who have helped. And what I'm going to do, I was going to read the names, but I may mess them up. But we will put them in the ending credits. But just to start, let me get some of the names. African Caesar, Michael Dean, Amber P. Knight, Latoya Williams, Kenny Santiago Marrero, Dominique Wordlow, Desiree Stilson, Ricky Yvette Westmoreland, Shalon Hanna, Angie Spikes, Tracy Moore Williams, Wayne Holman, Sandra Turner, Sam Turner, and Monique Starks. We'll put your names in the ending credits. I apologize if I mispronounce anybody in their names, but we want to thank you because this is just our 6th podcast, and we're getting a following, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate all the help that you guys have given us and all the support for everybody, and even the names that I may not mention that have followed us and subscribed to our page. I would really like to really thank you for all your support.
Are you there?
Got it. Okay, we got the callers back, Les and Donte.
Okay, all right, let me go ahead and hit this merge button. There we go. Are you there, Donte?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
Great. Question for you. Okay, so you were talking about, in a nutshell, it boils down to trust. Okay, do you think that in a relationship that you should have each other's passwords? It's a whole lot of pausing now.
No. I was waiting on Donte. I mean, I had answers.
I don't. Reason being that it's not about hiding anything. Now, like you said, it boils down to trust. And the thing is that if someone is with someone, or I believe that if someone is with someone, that they should trust them enough that they don't have to go through phones and devices and all this stuff trying to figure out something's wrong. Because I hate cliches. I hate them. But there are some that are relevant. And one is, if you go looking for something, you're going to find it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And,
don't get dirty.
And I say that because I never went through phones until now. I think there's a difference between when you're dating and when you're married. Now, maybe I have a skewed view for whatever reason because I've been married, but I think when you're dating, you can just if stuff is going down, you can just up and leave and whatever. When you're married, there's a different dynamic there where you're building a life together, where you have stuff together, where the state recognizes you together. And, like I tell people in Georgia, at least when I was in Georgia and I got divorced, we had to be married for 6 more months before we could even finalize the divorce. So we actually had to still be together.
Wow.
So to speak, or on paper. So I think with my situation, there was a situation where I was being cheated on my marriage. But the fact of it is that my perspective was, this is my family unit, and there's someone who's a threat to my family unit. Because I had children, and it wasn't just me and my ex-wife, it was me and my ex-wife and my children.
Understood.
I was like, okay, I need to go figure out what's going on. Now on top of that, I don't want to get into all that, but as a caveat, so to speak, to that, I had to go looking for the truth because I never got the truth out of her mouth. So I had to look and investigate and piece stuff together to figure out what was even going on. And so, I think that there's, like I said, there's just a different family dynamic there. I mean, a different dynamic there because it's a family. It's a threat to my unit. It's a threat to my family. So it wasn't like I could just up and leave if she's cheating and whatever. No, I had to eradicate this threat first. And I had to do it, by any means necessary.
Can you forgive a person after they've cheated?
I can once. Things happen. And I say this from the past because I don't even date now. So, that's, for me now, it's irrelevant. But I think in the past, if it happened once, yes. And I say this because, first of all, in my marriage, I cheated the first time. And I stopped, and then she started, but it continued on.
They get even.
Yeah, it honestly was a get even thing because a get even thing because it happened 2 years after I had stopped or after I had done it. So, and it still resonated on her mind all that time. And then the other woman worked with me. So, we didn't work close, but we were on the same floor, same office, all that. So there was always a constant, I guess you want to say, reminder in her mind of what had happened every time I would go to work.
Wow.
So for me, yeah, the first time, but I think we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But I think that if a person continues and that's it's cyclical and they just keep on, then that's a different story. Yeah. At that point,
you know what? Me personally, when it comes to that, whether it's me cheating or my wife or my girlfriend cheating, I think the trust is gone. I think it's a done deal. I know you forgive and forget, but I just think it's so many things that are in the air, so many things in each other's mind that just me personally, that's it's a done deal.
Says the guy who's probably going to be forever single. Now, reason I say that, A-Wit, I love you like a brother, but when you run into a couple that's been married for 30, 40, 50 years, trust me, dude, if they look halfway decent, they have had temptations, even if they don't look halfway decent.
And I can agree with you on that.
If I have children, I'm not giving my wife a pass, but if I have children, man, I grew up with a stepfather. I don't, and a bad stepfather. Okay, I don't wish that on anybody. I do not want some other dude raising my children.
Look, I can agree with you on that. I'm looking at it from my point of view. And like I said, that's my point of view. I can agree if you're married for 20, 30 years, yeah, is it worth it? I mean, people look at it from a financial standpoint, from a lot of different angles, whether it's even feasible to even ask for a divorce or try to get one. So I understand all of that.
As I told you at the entrance of the show, my friend said to me today, you're the only one who's married. All my friends, they're all divorced. That's why I don't believe in love. I believe in love, but I don't believe in love, because all my friends who are in love, they're all in divorce right now. I believe in being content as long as she can make a peach cobbler and I take out the trash and do what I got to do, and nobody's getting beat up, and there's no drugs. I'm in it to win it.
But what's funny to you, what's funny to me is that I'm single and all my friends are married.
But you only have two friends.
You and who else? Hey, but it's funny because they're all married, and and they survive. I'm not saying everybody is just in love to where they can't live without each other, but they're happy, all of them.
Wow.
And they've been married for a while.
I go in. Y'all made a couple points. I go in and say that the whole password thing. I don't believe in. Like I said, when. I don't think that you need to have each other's passwords. Like, once again, especially when it comes to these women, they're a little bit better at us than us men, because we really don't have the hand-eye coordination in general with a bunch of women. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be there. It's like me trying to stalk my woman's Twitter. Like, it ain't going to be there. It's just not. It's not going to be there. Now, it's up until the point now, if you start, because people are creatures of habit, once you start to act a little bit funny, and then it continues and stuff like that, and I feel like you're lying, one, I'm going to confront you first. Like, I'm going to ask you, like, what's up? If that behavior continued, then I might do a little, digging and stuff like that. Once again, like Donte said, to preserve, what I got going on.
Right.
And then, of course, going to the whole cheating thing, I'm at a point where it's like, if you continually gotta cheat, then we don't need to be together. We ain't compatible. We ain't working at each other. Obviously, we want different things. That first time, I don't, I can't give you. I wouldn't know. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't know until I'm in it. I like to think
you got to
that
see
I'd
the
just be
circumstances.
like, I'd like to say that I'd just be like, what, fuck it, I'm walking away. But walking away ain't easy. And it's no.
And
here's the thing, like when it, and I'll say this: when it comes to cheating, now if she comes out and then tells me or whatever, she feels that bad, then I can respect that a little bit more, because I'm one of the people, like, you can't sit here and say that you love somebody and then you being messy with it, like somebody else coming with you. And then as far as the third thing, as far as the whole, breaking up, and man, I've got something tatted on my arm that's a constant reminder: do not sabotage your happiness. And if it means that's what kept me in my marriage so damn long, when way past his expiration date was, I don't want somebody else raising my kids. But you know what? My ex, my story's a little bit crazy. I think I've talked about some of it before. But by the grace of God, my ex has two other kids with two other men, and all of them have treated my own two like their own. So, on the flip side, there is that. So I both, and we actually, we talk, like, we're in a group meet together. And we discuss and stuff like that, and then I think that's the mature side of it. So both can't be afraid. And that's a problem with me. This is the thing with us men. Like, we've got this pride, and this kind of holds us back a lot. Like, we don't want another man raising our kids, but we'll stay in a fucked up relationship.
Why you gotta put me out like that, bro? Why you gotta put me out like that?
Hey, I'm not putting out. No,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, you good. I was right there in it. And it's like this pride thing. Like, we always trip off things like, another. Like, bruh, there's always going to be somebody that's better. There's always going to be somebody that's going to fuck your woman better, that's going to have a bigger dick than you. So you don't need to be tripping off this shit. The best you can do is be the best father, best man, best lover, best person all around that you can be. And if your woman can't appreciate that, she don't need to be with your ass. So you just, keep it moving. There's way too many women out here for you to be tripping off one.
You're right, but you know what? But one thing about everything we talked about, it all depends on the circumstances, the situation, where you're at in your life, how you're going to deal with the circumstances. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah.
But each person's going to be different.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, gentlemen, just to move towards the conclusion of the show, and I really want to thank you guys for your honest, heartfelt opinions.
We appreciate it, man.
This won't be the last time we talk. But we move to a part of the apology at the end of the show. You can get off the phone now, or you can just hold on while I do my apology.
I'm here.
What's up?
Oh, I said I'm here.
Okay, yeah, we'll be here.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So what's your apology today, Saint Poet?
My apology deals with what I was talking about earlier in the show, when things get out of hand due to the internet. Not all of these situations were due to the internet, but I'll start it like this. Guys that know me, I've talked to guys who say they're not turning down anything but their collar when it comes to having relations with women, sexual. And anyone who knows me knows that I've walked away from more women than what I've actually had.
Here we go.
And because of that, I want to apologize to these women. I want to apologize to Lemonade, Thunder Thighs, Full Moons, Sunken Moons, The Choker, and Little Scar. All of these women I left in bed or on the floor, naked or semi-naked, unpenetrated. And I think that leaving a woman in that type of situation because you got issues, it can hurt them. It can scar them for life because they think that they got something wrong with them. Nothing was wrong with you. Something was wrong with me, and I apologize. That's my apology.
That's good. Or you can think too highly of yourself, which they not even thinking about you. I'm just saying it can go both ways, but I got your apology.
They thinking about me.
Y'all gonna let us jump in on this?
Jump on in, brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to, and this goes back to the early conversation I heard y'all talking about. I would like to apologize to Oprah for me calling her out of her name, just due to the fact that you got all that damn money, and Chicago public schools is finna go into bankruptcy. You over there, spending all this money, for a school in Africa. And I know the young lady got the scholarship from Oprah and stuff like that. That's all well and good. But you know what? Everybody ain't going to college. Everybody ain't built for college. So you know what? Let's at least give them the best education they can get at the high school level. Let's not have them out here, reading history books from 1975. Let's not have them out here, breathing in moldy air, out there freezing their asses off. Like, you've got all that, and I'll wrap it up with saying it's like one of them things where, your dad or your mom is spending this money on a kid that's got parents already, and that can provide for them. And then you're looking at it like, what about me? Because a lot of countries in Africa, they've got plenty of money. They just don't know how to manage their motherfucking money. They got plenty of resources. They got dictators holding on to that money. So I do apologize over.
Go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was saying that, but Oprah, I apologize for calling you out of your name, Oprah, but please, charity starts at home. There's no way before you take care of somebody else's house, you need to take care of your own, and I'm a firm believer in that shit. So
I agree with you.
And me and you are on the same page about that, and that's what I was saying, the same thing. You're in Chicago, take care of these kids, and give them an opportunity to possibly go to college, like you said. Help them at the earlier grades, preschool. Help them there. So, good point. Good apology.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you.
We got anything else?
Yeah.
I'm no apologies for me this week.
Got it. Well, I tell you what, Les and Donte, how can people get in contact with you?
They can get at me on Twitter, LESIZMORE on there. That's pretty much on Twitter. If they want to hit me up on Instagram, that's MOR, the number 4, LES, on there, and that's just pretty much the main thing. So yeah.
How about you, Donte?
And then on my bad, and then of course, the MorrisandJeromeShow.com, they can submit any kind of questions, fucked up dating stories, anything they want to on there, and they can get all the shows on there as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then me, I'm on Twitter, Dr. Phil Donte Hughes, so it's Dr. Phil DONTEHUE. So it's a fusion of Dr. Phil and Phil Donahue. So they can hit me up on there.
Cool. Well, I tell you what.
We appreciate you guys, man, and appreciate your insight and the conversation we had today, man. Really do.
I appreciate you all having us, man. Appreciate you having us. It's been a pleasure.
Got it. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll be in touch later on tonight, okay?
All right,
thanks, guys.
Take care.
Yes, sir. Take care. Yes, sir.
All right. Yep.
All right. Well, Darryl, looks like we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, we had to do this without our girl. She had to run out of here. The show was running over. So
right.
I'm just gonna.
So we're gonna wrap this up. So you have to wrap it up now.
Yep. So
let's see what you're made of.
Oh, hey, okay. Everyone, you can visit us at the fullcirclepodcastshow.com. All of our info is there. You can email us at fullcirclepodcastshow@gmail.com for any questions, comments. If you want to be a guest on the show or sponsor, please don't forget to like us on Facebook, the Full Circle Podcast Show, and also subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can check us out on iTunes and Stitcher. And we want to thank you all for your patience today and for helping to spread the word on the Full Circle Podcast Show. Remember that to take a stand for something, you have an opinion, use it. See you in a few days.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We appreciate you guys, tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Got it. Good night.
Good night.
Crime,
Let's get it together.
education,
Let's get it together.
marriage,
Let's get it together.
politics,
Let's get it together. Full circle. it together. Full circle.